Hey guys, welcome to the lair. I'm Outlaw Dragon. The video today is WWE's Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Getting right into it. The first match of the evening, and I'm going to start from the kickoff and work my way forward, was Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura for the the United States Championship. Excuse me, it's like 10:30 in the evening at the moment. But I made you guys a promise that I'd make you guys a video a day. So I am going to keep my word. But Rusev and Shinsuke, there was only one part of the match that I absolutely hated. And that was when Shinsuke headbutted Rusev in the groin and then Kinshasa'd him to win the title. To me, Shinsuke is so much more talented than that crap. He's gone from the artist to the cheap shot artist. And that's just, for me, it's killing what's a better competitor. Shinsuke could be so much a better heel if WWE would just give him ideas and let him run, instead of doing what they're doing to him. Going to the show proper. The first match was Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. The match, other than Randy taking advantage of Rey because he's small, everything about that match was pretty good. I didn't have any real complaints with it. Next up was The Miz and Jeff Hardy. I'm going to check my notes and make sure. Yep, The Miz and Jeff Hardy. My biggest problem there was the mismatch of styles. It was Jeff Hardy's high-flying awesomeness versus The Miz's cowardice. I hate The Miz's wrestling style because so much of his combat is either somebody else's shit that he stole, so help me if I hear Corey Graves calling the yes kicks, the it kicks, one more time, I'm going to find some way of reaching through my screen and wringing his scrawny neck. Oh, that's annoying for me. Next match. Seth freaking Rollins and Bobby Lashley. Biggest problem here was the dramatic size difference. Not to mention, Bobby Lashley can't wrestle. Don't give me any of that crap about his amateur background, because I don't want to hear it. Bobby can't wrestle. Sorry, guys, I've got a minor case of the hiccups. Bobby can't wrestle. Period. After Lashley and Rollins, was Dolph Ziggler and Kurt Angle. The biggest thing I didn't like about this match, I love Kurt. He's been a great competitor for a long time. But he needs to put up the boots, put away the singlet, and give other guys in the company their chance. He was great in his prime, but he's getting to that point where Taker got after WrestleMania 27. You ask me, Taker should have hung him up that night. Not 3 years later. But Kurt is just getting to that stage. He needs to hang him up while he's still got some pride left. Next up was the Bar versus the New Day, which it was okay, but it could have done without all the cheesy 5 to 10 second distractions on the New Day's part. Apologies again for the hiccups. Next up was the SmackDown semifinal for the World Cup. Rey Mysterio versus the Miz. Excuse me. This match suffered from the Miz's inability to wrestle and again, Rey Mysterio being taken advantage of because he was small. Well, because he's small. That bugs me when that shit happens. It really does. Next up was the Raw semifinal for the World Cup. Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. I gave the match a 7 out of 10. Well, no, I gave it an 8 out of 10, excuse me. Because overall, it was a very enjoyable match for the most part. The only thing that bugged me about it was the fact that Drew McIntyre got involved. Dolph didn't need Drew to win that thing. He really didn't, and it would have kept the relevance of that World Cup at least for another match or two. Instead of it didn't out and out and destroy it there, but it did damage the relevance of the World Cup. Next up, the World Heavyweight Championship match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. This match was really freaking awesome. AJ and Joe have great chemistry. My only beef, and the only reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, was the guy I felt should have won that match lost it. It should have been Samoa Joe being the winner. Next up was the World Cup final. Now, having watched SmackDown recently, it seemed to me that yes, The Miz was legitimately hurt at Crown Jewel. When I first watched it, I could swear it was another moment like, ironically, Survivor Series 2 years ago, where Baron Corbin had been kayfabe injured so he could be replaced by Shane McMahon. So for all I know, it could still be. Maybe The Miz is hurt, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But he looked on SmackDown like he was legitimately injured. So, but the World Cup final should have been, it should have been called when The Miz was ruled unfit to compete. When The Miz was ruled unfit to continue, the World Cup should have been Dolph Ziggler's automatically, giving Shane McMahon the victory over Dolph Ziggler at the World Cup. Totally spoiled the relevance of it. Next up, the Universal Championship match. I'm gonna get to why this pissed me off pretty badly here in a minute. The match was Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I gave the Universal Championship match a 4 out of 10 for several reasons. Number one being it looked like a glorified squash match. The entire match. It looked like Brock was going to win no matter what. Especially considering Baron Corbin cracked Braun Strowman with the Universal Championship before the match even got started. So that only further ruined even further ruined the irrelevance of the Universal title because the match wasn't clean. The final match of the evening, and by far the worst match of Crown Jewel. And I hate saying it, considering who was in it. You know, to put it bluntly, when it comes to the DX versus Brothers of Destruction grudge match, the grudge match looked more to me like four guys in a retirement home beating the shit out of each other because two of them stole the other two's playing card deck or something. It didn't look like a wrestling match. So, all that out of the way, I'm going to say right now, the Universal Championship being of higher importance to the World Heavyweight Championship when the Universal title has become a glorified trophy and Brock Lesnar's trophy case rather than a relevant, challenged for, fought for title. It just bugs the crap out of me. Here's how I would have formatted the match, the pay-per-view, differently. The opening contest, this is after the kickoff, so this is the first match of the actual pay-per-view, would have been the Snooze Fest. DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. The second contest of the evening would have gone the same as the rest of the show went, for the most part. With a few, actually, I'm just going to run this down because trying to say it a different way, I'm just going to lose myself. The opening contest would have been DX and the POD. Second would have been Mysterio and Orton. The third match of the night would have been Miz and Hardy. The fourth match of the evening, and this is just to break up a lot of the title matches, would have been the New Day and the Bar. Fifth would have been Rollins and Lashley. Sixth would have been Ziggler and Angle. Seventh would have been the Universal title match. Next would have been Ziggler versus Rollins. Then Miz versus Mysterio. The crappy World Cup match, World Cup final. And the main event would have been the much more relevant championship at this stage, the World Heavyweight Championship. You want your relevant titles to be the closing show. The Universal Championship at this point, especially after Crown Jewel, is turning into Brock Lesnar's glorified trophy. It's not a World Heavyweight title. He's not defending it. Watch. I bet you money the only times we're going to see Brock are Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. I'm betting anything he's not going to be on any other events. Anyway, guys, I don't want to turn this into a Brock Lesnar bashing video. I'll do a different one for that sake. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. And I'll see you later.